Hey everybody, it is Saturday evening and I am picking up work here on my 20-gallon tank that used to be Butterbean's tank and is going to be my red-clawed crab tank when I get it sorted out. If you've been following along, you'll know that I had water in there, I had substrate in there, I had some rocks in there. They were just sort of left over from when it was Butterbean's tank, but I'd gotten a new filter up and running on it, and I ruined my substrate. I used bleach that had surfactant in it. You can scroll back through, look at the other videos or whatever. I'll put a card to one of them. Long story short, I ruined the substrate. I thought about it, gave it some consideration, and I decided for the $23 and some change, call it $25 that I paid for some new substrate, I just don't have to worry about it, and now I have new substrate. So I dumped the other stuff out in the garden. Done and done. No more stress or worries. I also took the filter off of there. I wasn't too concerned about the stuff being in the filter necessarily, but I wanted a bigger filter and I found one. I knew I had one laying around somewhere. So I've now got a Whisper 40 with a longer intake tube, so I'll be able to have a little more depth of waterfall in this tank. So what we're doing now, what I'm doing tonight, is I'm just kind of ruminating on what to do in here. And here's where we are. I guess I'm not too worried about what I've got in my quarantine tank. I'll give you a little surprise sample. I've got 7 peppered cories. They were on sale during the holiday sales at the big chain pet store for $2 a piece. They're normally like $6.50 or something. So I got 7 peppered cories, and I don't know where they're going to end up, but eventually I'll have a bunch of peppered cories somewhere. I haven't lost one of them yet, knock on wood. That's unusual for cories for me. They're usually kind of sensitive to my water. Of course, they still haven't made it out of quarantine, so we'll see. But that's what's in my quarantine tank. If you're wondering what all those little fish are swimming around, it's all the same thing. It's 7 peppered cories. So you can see the egg crate plastic there. That's going to get cut to fit. It's going to go in there. That's not part of the issue. Part of the issue is the fact that the red-clawed crabs need land to get on. And I don't know how much. Everything I've looked at insists you have to have land or they'll die. So I don't know why that is. The ones I have, when I look in there, I seldom see them on land, even though they have plenty of space to get on there. I don't know if they need land as part of their overall life cycle, as a part of their breeding process. You know, as long as the water is well oxygenated, I don't really know why they would need to get out of the water. So I'm still going to give them a way to get out of the water. I'm just not going to make it like a half land, half water tank. I'm going to make it more focused on the water so I can have a little bit more volume of water in there, maybe put a few more mollies or something swimming around. And then what we're going to do with the land, since it's a 20-gallon standard tank, and I'm going to have a hang on the back filter. I wish I'd actually brought it out here. I could have showed you at least where it would sit. The tank is sterilized, the filter's not, so that's why I don't want to put the filter on the tank just yet until I've got that all cleaned up. So anyway, what I think I'm going to do is I've got 2 things that are significant. One is this piece of wood right here, and I'm going to have to cut it to size, but I think what we're going to do is something to this effect. It's going to go in there, and then of course, as I said, I'm going to need to cut a chunk off this bottom piece here, but then that's going to be able to lay against the back and create a shelf of sorts. Depending on how high I make it and what I do with it, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to put it in conjunction with. I've got this piece that is actually same part of piece of wood that's just been chopped off. This is actually wood I collected myself a long time ago, and it was just so pretty. I never did anything with it. I scoured it and scraped it with wire brush. You can actually still see the wire brush marks on it, and it's really dense and heavy. I bet even bone dry like this, it wouldn't take very long for it to want to sink in the tank again. It's too short to make a walking stick out of, but I've kept it for a long time. In fact, I actually gave it to my neighbor. He was going to do something with it for a while, and then I asked for it back because I was going to use it. I never did use it, but he did give it back, and now I've still got it, so now I am going to use it. And I think we're going to use it in conjunction with this rock. It's the biggest one I've got at the moment. Once the egg crate plastic is in there, I won't have to worry about this on the glass on the bottom. But it's pretty tall. You know, I can do something like that. I can maybe even do something like this over here underneath the filter and have the water hitting this and splashing off of the rock. The rock would give them something to climb on. You know, not exactly sure what we're going to do in here just yet, but this is where we're starting with tonight. I'm at least going to get that egg crate plastic in there. I've got my new box of substrate right here. Those are my old empty bags of substrate. You can see the floor's still all a mess from when I tore Butterbean's tank down. I have really been slacking in here, but as I've said, we're going to try to get back on track and get back up to running full speed down here like I used to. So that's my Saturday night. I'm not going to do any kind of before and after just yet. I haven't even begun to get the creative juices flowing. Like, pretty much what you see is as far as I've gotten as far as thinking this through just yet. So I guess I'll just say make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss any of the stuff I've got coming up as I do more updates. You know, you'll be informed of what's going on, and eventually in the next few days, hopefully this tank will come together, and if you're subscribed, you won't miss it. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget, this one's going to be my red-clawed crab tank. Thanks again, and I'll see you real soon in the next one.